Hey, Erica, thank you for the dream request and thank you for following Lion Mental Health and being part of the Lion Pride. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to give you some insight into this dream. So let's just jump right into it. This is kind of what we do. I'll read through the dream and then we will dive into what it's trying to tell you, what your unconscious mind wants you to know, and what these symbols kind of mean. Here we are. First, let's get my glasses. I was about to read and I'm like, oh, wait, I am blind. So let's do that. Okay. I was in darkness. Okay, so I'm so sorry in advance if this is confusing. Don't worry, not confusing. First, you were in darkness, and you looked to your right and heard the voice of my mother. I never saw her, but I knew it was my mother, but it also the voice of a child. Worth mentioning, all my known relatives up to my grandparents are still alive. All she said in the dream was, "My boyfriend got done dead." And as she said that, I was zoomed to outside of a small room with a two-way mirror and saw my brother dead with a track, T-R-A-C-H, in his neck. I'm not sure what that is, but something in his neck. My brother is still alive with no medical issues. This is the person my mother was speaking about. The room looked like something you'd see as like a police interrogation room, but the feel of the place was like medical experimentation. Weird. Yet when I saw my brother, it wasn't his face, but I knew he was my brother. Now, I know you can't really dream of faces you've never seen before. True. So I suppose the only way I can describe it is that numerous people all blended together to form him. Often common, actually. Very, very well put. Have fun with that one. No problem. All right. Glad I am going to have fun with this one. So there's a few things, and really when my clients tell me about these kind of dreams, because there's so much family metaphor kind of taking place, I like to really have them sort of take out a journal, take out a piece of paper, and really when they think of each of the people in the dream, write down the first 3, maybe 5 things even that come to your mind when you think about that person. And it's very important to write them down quickly, free flow, don't think about it, just first things that pop into your head. Because oftentimes, so I'll give you a chance to pause and do that actually, because I don't want you to jump ahead to why we do that until you've done it. So pause here. Welcome back. The reason we do that is one of those things that you wrote down is what each member of your family symbolizes. So in there, your mother symbolizes something, your brother symbolizes something, your mother's boyfriend or your boyfriend symbolizes something. They're very unique symbols to you. They're not like universal symbols. Like if you dream about a fish or a zombie or a tornado, they kind of have universal meaning. These are important to you. But what I can tell from putting them all together, right, is that your mother, typically the voice of wisdom, typically maternal wisdom, your feminine wisdom in particular. And it's interesting though, because the feminine wisdom has the voice of a child, right? Mother has the voice of a child. So this is also kind of relating back to experiences that you had in your childhood. This is relating back to kind of ways that your brain formed, ways that you think about the world that developed by the experiences that you had as a very little kid. And so, well, your mom says, "My boyfriend got done dead," which is interesting because it's your boyfriend. She says it's her boyfriend, but then it's your brother, but it's also not your brother's face. It's a conglomeration of a bunch of people. So I think what we're really dealing here with is sort of just the masculine archetype, which doesn't have to be necessarily men. We're talking about masculine as in the archetype, which is this idea. Carl Jung talked about it, and it's been talked about for ages and ages, just as far as like sociology, archaeology goes, right? Masculine archetype is putting things into the world, right? You think about male and feminine. Male puts things in, women receive. I mean, that's very kind of sexist thinking, but as far as archetype goes, it's not sexist. In fact, men can receive and give, women can receive and give, but the masculine archetype is this idea of putting things into the world. The other thing we know about dreams is that they are all about our internal world. So this dream is relating to what's going on inside of you. So your maternal wisdom that's coming from your childhood experiences is telling you that you are not connected with your masculine archetype, specifically your masculine archetype, because it's having to do with the throat. is not able to communicate. It's not able to talk to you or get across its point. In fact, you may even feel like in your personal life that you're not able to make the business or relationship or even romantic decisions that you want to really be assertive with yourself because your assertive voice has been, well, hindered, hampered, hurt, broken. It's lying dead on the table. And so specifically because it's been like interrogated and examined, your critical mind, that conscious part of your brain has sort of like just tore it to pieces. And so your mind is trying to tell you, hey, we need this part of ourselves back. I would encourage you, just do a little Google search about masculine archetypes and what that means. All these parts of yourself, it's kind of showing you, hey, they're not able to speak up. They're not able to communicate. In fact, they're dead. They've been dead for a while. They're not living anymore. And so it's trying to tell you that there's a part of who you are that's not alive inside of you. And your mind is wise enough to know that, specifically your childhood maternal wisdom. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some insight and some ways to move forward. I always highly recommend counseling to help with these things. Get yourself a mental health therapist. If you want more coaching, and maybe you and I, Erica, we can go a little bit deeper into what each of your relative symbols kind of mean for you, and we can kind of work through those. I'd be happy to help. Just let me know, schedule a session. But either way, I'm just really happy that I can provide some insight, and hopefully this gives you the information that you're looking for. Erica, thanks for being part of the Lion Pride. I look forward to talking to you more. I'm sure it's not the last time that we're going to interact. But until then, peace.